Okay, welcome back. Today I want to solve some of the SQL questions I thought were interesting. But today I do have a guest, Naveen. He's one of my collaboration partners for SQL and Python going forward. So, Naveen, if you want to say hi. Okay, so let's get started. This question looks very simple, but asked by Amazon and Visa in the past. It's one of the latest questions that have been covered by both Amazon and Visa. I thought this was helpful to go over some details. We'll just use the protocol, ask some clarifying questions, jot down some steps, and then get into the details of the logic and review the code before hitting execute. So let's get started. The title of this question, I'm going to share the question and solution in the link at the end of this video, so don't worry about that. The title of this question is highest salaried employees by department. The question reads, you have been asked to find the employee with the highest salary in each department. Output the department name, full name of the employees, and corresponding salary. So I'm taking a hint from this question. It says employees. That means it is good to ask the clarifying question if the interviewer wants you to bring all employees that satisfy the criteria or only the top employee and do a tiebreaker. So I'm going to, without any further delay, try and put those thoughts out here. So quick update on the table and the data that is available to us. It is just one simple table called worker, and we need to identify the highest salary, the department, employee details. A clarifying question I would always note down because that's how interviewer is able to gauge your critical thinking and thinking on your feet. So clarifying questions, I'm going to say Q1. If there is a tiebreaker, I already took the hint from the question. I believe dense rank is the way to go forward. If there is a tie, do we need to bring all employees with highest salary? I think an S, that's what my assumption is, but it's always good to clarify. So I want to solve this question in two logics. The logic one or approach one is max function, max aggregate function. So for that, it's going to be very straightforward. Step one is identify the max salary by department. Step two, filter for the columns that associated to the max salary, associated with the max salary, and then generate the expected output. Okay, so we have the approach ready. Let's start to build the logic here. I'm going to bring the department, first name, last name, and I do think the interviewer wants us to get the first name and last name together as one full name. So I'm going to do a concatenation function here. I have a way to do this. You can always use different alternative logics to get that. So I'm going to use a simple pipe function, which works perfectly fine for me. So I'm going to get the last name here as well. That's going to be the full name as needed in the expected output. On this platform, you get to see the expected output, but maybe in the real interview, you may not be able to see the expected output. So be prepared for that. So I'm going to get the salary information as well from my original table name called worker. And I'm going to call this the main table. Now I want to get the highest salary using an aggregate function. Select, copy the department name again. Max salary. As highest salary. Bring the table name again. 2 by 1. And we just need to identify, in this case, only fetch the records which are corresponding to the highest salary. So I'm just going to do an inner join of this table, which is I call the subquery. And I'm going to join on the department because we need information for every department as per the question. So we're going to get the subquery, join that on the department, and we also want to join it on the highest salary only because that's the only record you're expecting. Start highest salary. Those are the only records you're trying to filter for. I do want to make sure I'm providing the aliases because that's going to throw an error. Okay, so that should take care of everything we need today. Let's go over the code real quick. So we are fetching the department, first name, last name, combining that as full name. We got the salary, that's the expected output. We're getting all this information from the main table, and then we are combining, we are fetching the maximum salary from the table by department and filtering for those rows only. This should work. Let's try and run this piece of code. So it looks like it is running fine. Let's check the solution. So yeah, we got this solution for now. This is a little back and forth because of the max function that we use. Now I want to leverage an alternative solution, which is using a window function. So let's get to that. Pretty much the whole process is the same. I'm going to copy that to in the best interest of time. And we are going to bring the whole, in this scenario, we are only trying to get, replace the max function with window function. Since the initial assumption of bringing all the employees that meet the criteria, I'm going to bring dense rank. That's going to be ideal because we don't want to use any kind of tiebreaker. So I'm going to change this to dense rank over partition by department, order by salary, DESC, which is important because we only want to arrange them in the decreasing order, descending order, and fetch that one row with the highest salary. So we have the department, we have the full name. We don't really have to use this information from the original table. We could get all that information from here. So I'm going to say, bring all that information you need right here. Salary, department, full name, dense rank. The beauty of window function is you don't need any kind of aggregation. So you're identifying the highest salary, call that D rank. And all you need to do is there's no join required. We are going to say where D rank is equal to 1. We're going to identify that one record, which is going to bring us the top or the highest salary. Okay, so you don't need to do any kind of joins. Just need to, only one table is needed. That's going to significantly reduce our query time. So that's all we need from this second approach. Let's try and run this and go over the code real quick. We are fetching the department, first name, last name as needed in the expected output. The salary within the window function subquery, what we're trying to get is partitioning by department and ordering the rows with respect to the salary in descending order using a dense rank function, and you're only filtering for dense rank is equal to 1, which is the highest salary. So this should work. Okay, looks like the window function is working as well. I want to say the window function is much faster, best in terms of time and complexity, one, and also with respect to logic. If there is a follow-up question about identify the top 2 rows, identify the top 3 highest salaries, and bring the employees associated with them, that window function is going to do a much better job from complexity standpoint. I guess this is all for today. Thanks a lot, and we'll connect again with more interesting questions. Thank you.